G'day everyone, Goober here with another Torchlight Season SS7 video. It is the 1st of January, so Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully this year brings a lot of good Torchlight Infinite seasons. In 3 days time we have the reveal, and in 9 days time we have this season launch for Season SS7. So keeping with tradition, I'll now be going over a tips video as we go through the seasons. If you have a tip that you think that I should include in these videos, please put them in the comments below and I will add them to the video so we can get a really good set of tips for everyone returning and new to the game. So to start off, let's go with the control settings. This is similar to the last season with one addition. Town Portal I have changed to Y because I hardly ever use it. So by default it is T. However, I use Dark Surge a lot more, so I've just switched Dark Surge to T. If you are doing a map mechanic that requires you to have a button input, I recommend putting that on T, as it is where my left hand rests on the keyboard. Pact Spirit plans is another one that I find very helpful to set. These are not set by default, and nothing is set to the number keys by default. So Pact Spirit plan 1 through to 9 on the number keys is a very, very quick change there, just for a bit of quality of life. Next up we have the graphics section, going right down to the seasonal effects settings. If you notice something has changed graphically for the new season, you don't like it, chances are that effect is in the settings and you can just turn it off. The Whispering Mist setting was really quite annoying. I really don't like this at all. So you just go into the graphics and turn it off. And similar, if there's a new one next season that you don't like, just turn it off and get back to enjoying your game. Alright, and an additional one that is from the comments, which is right here. Move towards the cursor. You can change that to any button that you want. I have it left click, so it's going to always move towards my cursor. You can change it to W or whatever you wish, as suggested in the comments. Now that is unless you are using a channeled skill. A channeled skill is what I'm using right now. I am not pressing any buttons, I'm just moving the mouse. If you're using a channeled skill, then you can go into battle down the bottom here and you can turn on auto channel. This only works for continuously manual channeled abilities. In here it says only works for skills that require continuous manual channeling. After enabling it, the skill will basically continue to be cast until you press the button again to quit the auto channel. It just makes it really, really simple to move around. Righty, next up we have Pact Spirits. If you are setting up a new Pact Spirit plan and you're unsure what each of these are because they just say drop quantity, you can filter to the specific set that you want to do. Survival for XP, etc. Summon for obviously summons, persistent for dot damage, spell, attack, etc. Let's go to drop. Now this may look like it is in a random order, however it is simply in the recommended and then on to by season. So the current season is the Rainbow Paint Owl. Last season was Alice. The season before that was Mistville, then Dream, then Preseason, then Eterna. Another Preseason. Kong is an exclusive and it goes down. That follows the same pattern throughout all of the purples with all the randoms down the bottom, and then the blues likewise. So the newest season is up the top and the oldest for the season is down the bottom. If you are looking at this and you're like, well, it just says drop quant, I don't know which one it actually is. I know that this is going to be the current season, but you can click up and it will show you the coloured snow. This one is Dial Securities. Leo's not going to catch you. Just sit in here for a little bit, okay? So you can just go through and select which ones you want. Chest of Folklores, Nightmare, Soul Candles. Yeah, it's a little guy, isn't it? And yeah, that one and that one. They're all pretty cute, aren't they?
Which one do you want?
I want this one for reasons I can't tell you. Anywho,
Okay.
very big reasons. Ruby wants to be the dog one.
Yep.
Is that a cool one?
Yeah.
Yeah, dog in an aeroplane.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
I don't like him because he has a bad hat on.
A bad hat. That's the reason you don't like him. Okay. Alrighty, next in the tips we have the trade house. If you are looking at these individually and you just want to refresh it, you can refresh there, or down the bottom you can refresh duration, and that refreshes everything on every tab that you have. Next up we have the unit price filter. In the unit price filter, I'll show you a couple of examples here. Let's go to Elixir of Oblivion. The price filter is showing 0.12, 0.012, 0.4 or 0.54, etc. If we go to search and highlight 0.4, it probably won't show many up. 0.4.
Daddy, I love your video.
Thanks, buddy. So we've got a couple there, not too many. If we go back to that again, it's showing 0.54 as the first big, well, it was before. 0.54 was the big listing. So we just price filter 541. That's if it's, yeah. So as we go through, that is going to filter down to 0.541. And there you go. You can get a bargain that way.
1, 2, 4,
On
4,
the
5,
loot
6,
filter,
7, 8,
I'll
9,
also
10,
got.
11,
I'll go into the early season price flips. So the way that you can price flip or currency flip is you can sell flame elementium, say 5 flame elementium for 25 Elixir of Oblivion. This works out to be 0.2 each. And then when that is filled, you can sell those 25 for full price. So when the 25...
I should do it by myself.
So when the 25 Elixir of Oblivion sell for max price, then you'll probably get about 13 flame elementium.
Yep.
And at the start of the season, you'll be able to list an entire tab and it will probably sell within a map or two. The good currencies to flip at the start of the season is Elixir of Oblivion. These go all the way up to about 4 or 5 flame elementium each, depending on when the popular builds are discovered and everyone wants to respec. Netherrealm Resonance is also another good one to flip, and NG cores are very good to flip. Fine Embers and Precious Embers are also very good to flip, as they will be highly used at the start of the season. Another one to keep an eye out on is the price of Time Mark 7 beacons and the price of Netherrealm Resonance. Alrighty, next up we have the Advanced Search. The Advanced Search is very useful for div slates, specifically Corner of Divinity. Sometimes with a build you want to have 5 or so different things captured on your Divinity slates. So what you want to do is come here and you can go through and search for them individually here, or you can add a conditional group. Let's just reset that. And then up here you want it to show a minimum of 2. And then for my build this season, these are the affixes that were desirable. Alrighty, so now that we've added those 5, We want it to show 2 of these results. It can't show more than that because of the item, and then you just hit confirm and search, and that has filtered it down to only the ones that we need. Then if you are after 5, you can just select the star for the ones that capture a couple. So this one has Tenacity, Blessing, Stacks, and Blur. This one has Blur and Additional Curse. And then you go through and add Spell Skill Level and Tenacity. Then you just go through and buy the ones until you have 1 of each.
If he threw his basketball into 2, I'm going to leave.
If Leo scores a goal, you're going to leave. Why?
Because I don't like it.
Oh, this is a bad time of the night to do a video. It's almost shower time. Anywho, that is how I would get all of these stats at a cheaper price that I need on my corners. Don't just look at the person on the top that has, say, +1 spell skill and the next most desirable on a slate, because that will cost you an absolute mozza. Next up will be how to search for a crafting base. So in advanced, go to gear, and now some prior knowledge of what the ultimate affixes on your gear is would be very helpful. I'm just going to go with a staff because I looked it up before. I actually made this video already. However, I didn't realize that I was recording nothing. So anyway, now we want spell skill level. Oops. Spell skill level. And additional damage. Oh, if I could spell. To life. Now you want these at tier 1, not tier 0. Did I not just click confirm? So if it's not tier 1, then you're going to have to re-roll it anyway. And if you can pick up a base that is not right, I messed that up. You want a conditional group with at least 1. And then you hit search, and that's going to bring up everything. So we've got 1 here. It is 55% additional damage applied to life. It's only 25 flame elementium, so that is one of the 2 maybe desirable that you have. Even going along, we have additional damage to life again. It's 275 more expensive, but maybe it has a better additional affix. Even if you can get one of these for, say, 800, might be a bargain compared to trying to get a tier 1 ultimate affix to hit. In this case, it's a +5 spell, +2 main, so maybe that is 2 of the stats that you are after. +5 spell skill for 300. That's just that's a good buy in my opinion. So always look for a tier 1 base that has or an item level 100 base that has the hardest to get crafted affix on the item as a drop, and that will save you a lot when crafting. Next up, we have the talent spec re. Alrighty, next up we have Elixir of Oblivion. Make sure if you are going to respec and you are over level, I think 95, it starts using Oblivion points. If you don't have enough, it is going to ask you to pay with primos. This is a primo trap. Don't get caught. Just go to the auction house, search for Elixir of Oblivion. Right here, they were 0.55 each or so. Just buy a bunch. Make sure you collect them. Go into your inventory and use them. That gives me 99 more respec points, and it didn't cost me any primos. Don't fall for the trap of wasting your primos in that way. Always buy Elixir of Oblivion instead. Alrighty, next up we have skills that reset to 1. I already did this on the last video. I have another item here, which is fine. Useful if you're making alts. You can just get on your main and buy all the skills. They come as level 16, which is about level 60 or so. So you can just go into the hamburger menu and reset the level. This resets to level 1, and now this item can be used from level 1 onwards. Perfect for your alt if you can supply the energy to equip these items. Alrighty, they're in bed and I'm back with another tip. This one is the loot filter, probably one of the most important things at the start of a season, and you can easily make your own. Here is one of the ones that I shared this season. Both have been downloaded about 2,000 times, which is pretty cool. The thing to know about loot filters is they read from the bottom up. So one of the only things that I change at the start of a season is I just load up the intermediate or the simple or whatever, just so it highlights the good legendaries that can drop. I don't touch anything except for the gear tab. Now on the gear tab, all you need to do is delete all of the default rules that are in there. Chuck in one that just says hide all other. This hides every piece of gear that can drop. Doesn't matter about the item level, just hides them all. Then as you progress through the campaign into maps, you can increase the strictness of your loot filter. So originally all I had was show 27 types, which is all the scepters and all of the int pieces that can drop, excluding the chest for some reason, and then all of the intelligence rings and necklaces, etc. This has been modified. Obviously, as you go through the campaign, you would select all of these, and then as you out-level the 32 and you get to level 52, you just unselect the 32, so only the 52s will show. Then as you progress further along, you may be wanting only 2 tier 1 affix items, or on here you may want something else. And then here is one that is especially useful, especially early on. So as you progress through the campaign, the drop will be one of these things, int top tier or whatever tier you want. This also doesn't really matter because you're showing, if you have this one down here, on anyway. But as we go down, this is the one that is very useful. The drop has any affixes, so the types of affixes, any B affixes, so 1 affix of A, so 9 types of A. I just have the persistent ones. I was playing a reap tune, so affliction effect, dot damage, reaps. I was playing energy shield, so the energy shield affixes with intelligence, erosion skill level, and movement speed. Movement speed can obviously only drop on boots, and I wanted the other stuff as well. So this is saying that if any item, this is set to tier 1, but you can modify the tier as much as you want. This is the maximum. So if you want it to be a tier 1, this is saying any 1 affix of a maximum tier. If you want it to be tier 2, you just change that to tier 2. If you want it to be tier 3, tier 4, etc., you just change the maximum tier amount, I guess you would say. It's a little bit confusing when you think about it, but basically A is the types of affixes that you want. B is the number of affixes that must be on the item for it to show. If I put this as a minimum of 2, and I left this as 0 to 1, then one of the drops would have to be tier 0, because this is a total of tiers. So if you wanted 2 tier 1s, that would have to be a maximum of 2. If you wanted 2 tier 2s, it would have to be a maximum of 4, if that makes sense. So I'll just change this back to what it was before. So that is how you set that. You can also adjust the item level if you wish, and the types again. And that is basically all I do for the loot filter until we get to maps, even up until about time mark 7 or time mark 8. That's when you can further reduce it to only showing tier 1 affixes and stuff that you would initially sell on the market. And I may as well mention as well, if you are copying someone's loot filter, if you're in a different region, you have to go create from a shared code and enter it there. Otherwise it won't load. And also if you're, say, following mine and I've gone in and edited it, if I untick this and then tick it again to publish it, if I untick that again, I cannot publish for another 24 hours. So if for some reason you're copying my filter code and it's not working, chances are I accidentally untick this twice. So that would not allow, I'll do it now. So I cannot make it public for another day. It should have a timer there or something, but it doesn't. Maybe I'll suggest that to Andre. I don't know if they can implement it or not, but it is what it is. Alrighty, the final tip is just how to target farm. Each zone every season has its own exclusive memory card drops. Glacial Abyss has random fossils. Lava Sea always has Immolating Flame. This is used for the Prairie, 20 of those. Steel Forge has Unhatched Shadow. That is for the Mirror card, I believe, same as Voidlands. And Thunder Wastes has Cocoon Flame, which is a minor version of the Immolating Flame, which drops in the Lava Sea. Then onto the Betrayer. It doesn't really say much here, but if you click on the little question mark on the right hand side, it shows the legendary gear that can drop from that area. Steel Forge drops the Warden's Breastpin necklace for minions. This may be really useful for Iris next season. If you're playing Reap, Glacial Abyss boss has the Surging Inspiration helmet, and the other bosses also have their unique ones. And then obviously the bosses here all have their own special unique loot as well, which you can see just clicking the chest up in the top corner. I won't go into those too much detail. You can look at those and figure out what sort of content that you want to run. That's all I have for this video. One last thing that I forgot to mention on this rerun. If you are in Pact Spirits and you don't have that on, that is off by default. You can't see the Pact Spirits on the right hand side. You can just tick that on and then it comes up with your Pact Spirits on the right if you don't have the numbers set to quickly switch between them. Anywho, that's all I've got. I'm really looking forward to the 4th of January for the season reveal, and hopefully the patch notes come out a little bit better than they did last season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.